The Edmonton Oilers pour onto the ice. They are the Western Conference champions for the second year in a row. It's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup final.
And the puck goes down the ice, and it's headed to the net. And Messi says this is the final goal. They're going to the Stanley Cup final. The Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to the Stanley Cup final. The Edmonton Oilers, and they're going to the Stanley Cup final. The Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final.
We now have a official news release from the National Hockey League. Let's set the table for you. All times are going to be 6 Mountain. Next Wednesday and Friday, games 1 and 2 at Rogers Place. Wednesday and Friday, and those will be 6 o'clock starts at Rogers Place. Games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Then the series shifts to Sunrise, Florida, and we'll have games 3 and 4 for you on Monday and Thursday, June 9th and 12th. That'll be games 3 and 4 from Sunrise, and then game 5, if necessary, back at Rogers Place in Edmonton on a Saturday night, June the 14th. Game 6, June 17th in Sunrise, and game 7, if necessary. And boy, wouldn't it be something if it was necessary, Friday, June 20th at Rogers Place.
And it's going to be an exciting one. The world's in the NHL's hardest round ever in soccer, football, baseball, basketball, golf, rugby, and mostly hockey. We're going to have a hell of a good time. So together we rise to the Stanley Cup, and my friend mentioned the Oilers won 5 Stanley Cups.
Edmonton Oilers, and they're going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him.
The goal.
Score.
The goal.
Scores.
The goal.
Scores. Flip to him.
The goal.
Score.
The goal.
Scores.
The goal.
Scores. Flip to him.
The goal.
Score.
The goal.
Scores.
The goal.
Scores. Flip to him.
The goal.
Score.
The goal.
Scores.
The
Scores.
Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to the Stanley Cup final. The Edmonton Oilers, and they're going to the Stanley Cup final. The final. The Oilers.
Boards it in the net. Another empty netter. Kasperi Kapanen puts it
Going to the
away.
Stanley
And the
Cup
Edmonton
final.
Oilers are heading to the Stanley Cup final.
Goal. The goal. The goal. The goal. The goal. The goal.
Flip to him.
The goal.
Score.
The goal.
Scores.
The goal.
Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final. The goal.
Flip to him. Score. Scores. Scores.
Going to the Stanley Cup final.
The Edmonton Oilers pour onto the ice. They are the Western Conference champions for the second year in a row. It's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup final.
Thank you for watching. The Oilers won 5 Stanley Cups, 1984 against the Islanders, 1985 against the Flyers, 1987 against the Flyers again, 1988 against the Bruins, and 1990 against the Bruins again. So the Oilers will break a 35-year drought after a 1990 Oilers win. All Canadian NHL teams will break a 32-year drought. Oilers will become as first Canadian team of the 21st century. The Flames lost in 2004. So does the Oilers in 2006, the Senators in 2007, the Canucks in 2011, the Montreal Canadiens in 2021, and finally the Oilers in 2024. The Oilers will win the 6th Stanley Cup. The Oilers celebrates the 45-year anniversary, and to present all Oilers from Wayne Gretzky, Kevin Lowe, Sheldon Surig, Ryan Smith, Tyler Hall, Jordan Eberle, Sam Gane, Lori Korpikoski, Adam Party, Patrick Maroon, Nealon Luchek, Darnell Nurse, Leon Draisaitl, Drake Cayula, Zach Cassian, Mark Letestu, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Bill Ranford, Grant Fury, Kyle Brodziak, Jonas Gustafsson, Andrew Ferentz, Evander Kane, Justin and Nick Schultz, Mark Fain, Brad Malone, Jesse Poliarvi, Adam Larson, Ethan Bear, Zach Hymend, Connor Brown, Cody Ceci, Matt Hendricks, Eero Pakarinen, Anton Lander, Anton Slepyshev, Anton Belov, Sam Carrick, Adam Henrique, David Semenko, Ryan Miller, and many, many more than 100. And finally, of course, number 97, Connor McDavid. The Stanley Cup was formed in 1893, but every team from Canada won all Stanley Cup. The first ever Canadian Cup that they won were the Vancouver Billionaires in 1915. The Montreal Canadiens won 24, Leafs won 13, but the Oilers will get 6. The Panthers beat the Oilers in the 2024 final, but this year, the Oilers will break the 35-year drought because the drought will be over. So the Oilers will break through and win the 2025 Stanley Cup. Thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel. And this is the year for the Oilers. Subscribe to this channel, Hayden Cardinal. Like, share, and comment. This has been 35 years since they won the last Stanley Cup, but the Oilers lost 19 years ago. And thanks for watching this tribute. I'm so happy that we're going to the Stanley Cup final. The best of 7 was laying on the line. So that's the tribute to the Oilers win from Game 5 of the 2025 Stanley Cup. A hell of a video, a hell of a ride, and a hell of a season. We pray to God the Oilers must win the Stanley Cup. This game's about focus, confidence, perfection, calmness, familiarity, ice time, puck passion, goals, sportsmanship, athleticism, and winning. This is Jack Michaels saying we'll see you in the Stanley Cup final. Bob and I will have the call on 880 Ched. Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson will have that on CBC and Sportsnet, and Sean McDonough and Ray Ferraro will have that response on ESPN. Until next Wednesday, the pleasure was all ours. And as everybody here in Oil Country said, let's go Oilers!